You're tuned in to In My Humble Opinion on 101.3 Jams, WVAI Radio. I'm Maxilia Robinson, and with me in the studio is Charles Lewis. And our guest for today is the president of Piedmont, Virginia Community College, Frank Friedman. Mr. Friedman, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Thank you for being here. So we have lots of questions for you, but when I contacted your office, I told them in particular that I want to talk about the adult learner who wants to return to school but really sees no way. I can't tell you how many conversations I've had where I myself am also taking classes at PVCC, and they tell me, how do you do it when you're managing kids and job and life? How do you return back to school? So let's open up by talking about your presidency. How long have you been president of PVCC?
I've been president now for 17 years.
Wow, long time.
Yes.
And what type of, what things have you accomplished since being there, or put in place, or helped the school to grow to what it is today?
Well, let me say the first thing is a president never accomplishes anything by himself.
I see.
It's a team. It's a team effort with the faculty, with the staff, with the community. Mm-hmm. I always say that the president of a college is kind of like the quarterback on a football team. Mm-hmm. When the team's losing, they get too much blame, and when they're winning, they get too much credit.
Right.
It's the same way. We've accomplished a lot over the last 17 years. The college has grown tremendously. Mm-hmm. When I got there, our enrollment in a fall semester was about 4,000. Now we're up to about 5,500. Mm-hmm. So we've grown a lot in terms of numbers of students. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that is because we've added new programs. Again, when I arrived, the only program we had in healthcare was our registered nurse program.
Mm-hmm, I see.
Now we have 10 programs in healthcare. Mm-hmm. Sonography, x-ray technology, radiography, surgical technology, paramedic, on and on and on. So we've expanded our offerings to the community to help people qualify, hopefully, for good jobs. Mm-hmm. And that's been a major growth area for us. Mm-hmm. Since I've been there, we've added 2 buildings to the campus, which we needed. If you grow that many students, right, obviously you need buildings. So we've been able to do that. And it just in general, I think the college has grown in terms, I think, of image and reputation and service to the community. Mm-hmm. And that's really what we're supposed to be all about.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a program designed for the adult learner that's looking to return back to school, something that kind of aids them along in that process?
You know, it's not a specific program, but everything we do is geared that way.
I see.
You know, community colleges really came of age in the 1960s, and they're a very American invention. And it's based on this American idea that no matter how old you are, no matter what background you come from, mm-hmm. you should have opportunity. Mm-hmm. And we are an opportunity college. Mm-hmm. We make opportunity available to all. And, you know, when people think of college, especially here in Charlottesville, you think of UVA and you think of kids between 18 and 22. Mm-hmm. The typical student at PVCC is more likely to be 25, 26, 27. Mm-hmm. They've been out of school a few years. You know, maybe they were bartending, waiting on tables, mm-hmm. you know, doing something for a low pay. And then they start to get a little bit older. Maybe they get married, maybe they have kids, mm-hmm. and they say, geez, you know, I got to get a real job and make some real money. Right. And then they say, so how do I do that? And the answer in Charlottesville and really in all of America is you go to a community college, because that's what we're set up to do, to welcome people back, to help them adjust to education again, to give them the support they need to flourish and succeed in school. And that's really what the whole college is really geared towards.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think Charles has a question here. You want to jump in?
So thanks for joining us again
Thank
today.
You.
And I would like to say that I'm actually a former student of community college. When I actually lived in Richmond, and I went to J. Sargent Reynolds Community College. And what I'd like for you to touch on is that mind state, because I definitely agree with your last comments. And as far as the people who have a vision of a specific career or trade that they wanted, and how me personally, I was accepted, had opportunities to go to universities, but I was in a position where I figured, the career that I wanted, didn't require to spend the extra money
Yes.
I saw that as unnecessary. It was my personal opinion. I have friends that did, university, community college. So if you would mind touching on as far as PVC's stance when it comes to maybe students who may be teetering that line, as far as like what school is best for them.
Yeah. There's not one size that fits all. We've got great universities, we've got community colleges, we have technical colleges. People have to figure out what path is right for them. And one of the things, we call ourselves a comprehensive community college. And what that means is we offer the first 2 years of a bachelor's degree. So if your goal is a bachelor's degree or beyond, we can get you started. You can come to us, take your freshman and sophomore level courses, save a boatload of money by paying our tuition, which is so much less than anywhere else, and then those credits will transfer. We send, in a typical year, about 1,500 of our students leave PVCC and go to a 4-year college or university the next year. They take their credits with them and hopefully go on and earn a bachelor's degree or as far as they want to go. But then also, we've got loads of students, and especially our adult students, they're working a job, raising a family. They can't devote the time to go get a bachelor's degree that's going to take 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. They need to get something quicker. They need to get a skill. They need to start a career where they're going to make a self-sufficient living wage. So we offer programs that you can complete in 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, even 6 weeks. And they're geared towards specific jobs. And that gives people a choice of, well, how much time do I want to devote? How much money do I want to spend? What are my options at the end of, whatever program I'm in? For instance, let's say you're interested in nursing, which many people are. We have a 6-week program that will qualify you to get licensed as a certified nurse assistant. 6 weeks, that's all it takes. Costs maybe less than $1,000. Financial aid is, of course, available. And a CNA is going to get a job at a nursing home or long-term care facility or a hospital and make in the range of, $13, $14, $15 an hour. But if you want to devote a year, you can come into our licensed practical nursing program. You'll get a degree, or not a degree, a certificate there. You'll sit for a state licensure exam, and then you're going to make more like $20 an hour, let's say. But if you got 2 years, you can be in the registered nurse program, and they're starting now after a 2-year degree. Average starting salary now is $45,000 to $50,000 a year. So, and you don't have to do one and not the other. You can start with one, go to work, come back later, and layer on top of it the next one. So we try to give people options. And we're catering to two folks who want to transfer, go long-term to a 4-year college or university, and then folks who really can't devote that time and money. They need the skills to get a job sooner. Right. And that's what makes us a comprehensive community college. We offer both areas of educational programs.
Let's talk about the person that wants to pursue the associates with you and move on to a 4-year college. What are your recommendations for successfully completing that? I know personally, any advice that I've given anyone is don't overload yourself. Take a couple of classes and do well at them and pass them with high grades. But what things would you recommend?
It's interesting. We debate this on campus a lot. What you said is very good advice. The only problem is, for somebody who's taking, let's just say, 2 courses a semester, it will take you 10 semesters to graduate. That's 5 years to earn what we call a 2-year degree. The problem is, in 5 years, so much could happen in your life. You could get sick. You could move. You could run out of money. The longer you spread out your education, the more likely it is that something in life will get in the way and cause you to have to drop out. So it's like a balancing act. You want to take as much as you can handle and do well grade-wise and succeed in, but you don't want to take such a light load that it's going to take you forever to get through. The number one cause of our students who don't graduate is that life gets in the way.
Right, true. You're tuned in to In My Humble Opinion. Maxilia Robinson here, and in the studio with me is the president of PVCC, that's Piedmont Virginia Community College, Mr. Frank Friedman. We'll be right back to discuss how to return to school for adult learners and how to be successful at it. Stay tuned. You're tuned in to In My Humble Opinion on 101.3 WVAI Radio, the People Station. I have Mr. Friedman here with me in the studio today, the president of PVCC, and we're talking about how to return to school for the adult learner and how to be successful at it, to generate a better life for yourself and a better life for those that surround you. Mr. Friedman, let's talk about work study. I know that's a service that the school also offers.
Well, work study is an opportunity to work on campus, earn some money, and use that to help pay for your tuition. It's a form of financial aid. It's funded by the federal government, actually. And, financial aid is essential for many folks. Community colleges have the lowest tuition of any option you have in colleges. But that's still too much for many folks to afford.
True.
So we offer many forms of financial aid to help individuals pay. And it's all based on your income level, family size, and so forth. The biggest source of financial aid is a federal program called Pell Grants.
Okay.
And about 1 out of 3 of our students qualifies for a Pell Grant, which can pay, in some cases, all of your tuition, and even pay you a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit of money for books, transportation, childcare, and so forth. But another program is what you just mentioned, the work study, and some folks will get a combination, a Pell Grant and some work study where they work on campus 10, 15 hours a week. The advantage of that is they get some good work experience. They can get a good reference from their supervisor there. There's some real advantages to that. We also offer loans that are at a very low interest rate because they're backed by the federal government, and repayment doesn't start until after you graduate. So financial aid is very important for people to be able to afford the college, and our financial aid office, their whole job is to help people qualify for every dollar possible.
And I was going to touch on that in terms of the financial aid. How, for someone where that process may be a little intimidating, what are your suggestions about it, or what do you have to say about it? I filled it out online, and I had my own personal questions.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the process is long, it's involved, it is intimidating. It's also set up by the federal government. There's nothing we can do about it. You've probably heard President Obama talk about the need for us to simplify the form that you fill out. It's called the FAFSA.
Right.
And it's a national issue. I mean, the President of the United States talking about we've got to make this simpler because that form scares people away. Our staff in the financial aid office would help any individual fill it out.
Okay.
But it is, it is cumbersome and it is onerous at times. You got to produce some documents like how much money you made last year, your taxes, that kind of thing. And it can be intimidating, but the bottom line is, I always say this, you can't win if you don't play the game.
Okay.
You can't get the financial aid unless you fill out the form.
True. Yes. How about childcare? I believe you all have some connection where if a person returns to school and they happen to have children, they can sign up for a program that helps with that, with childcare?
Yeah. We have a partnership with the childcare operation at the Jefferson School in downtown Charlottesville. That's run by the YMCA.
Okay.
And we have classrooms and some operations there in the Jefferson School also. So we're good partners on that. And they provide a special discount for PVCC students for the child care there. We also have a federal grant. It's called the C Campus Grant.
Okay.
And it is specifically to help individuals with child care costs. I'm pretty sure we get about $50,000 a year on that grant. Now, childcare is very expensive, as everybody knows, so that might help 25, 30, 40 students a year. It doesn't help everybody who needs the assistance, but it's at least a source to help our most needy students with childcare expenses.
Something else I should mention is that PVCC now has 3 locations, right?
Yeah. You asked me what have we accomplished since I've been there. I forgot all about that part. Of course, we have our main campus down on Route 20, south of the city, but we've opened up 2 satellite operations. We don't own the space, we lease it, or it's donated to us. One is at the Jefferson School, and we're really proud that we were a part of the revitalization of the Jefferson School, and I serve on the board of the Jefferson School, and we're really pleased that we are located there and able to serve the downtown Charlottesville community with courses and programs there. We've also opened up a center in Standardsville in Greene County. Greene County had a vision that they wanted to bring college education closer to their population, because it's a pretty long haul to drive down to PVCC's campus from there. And a few years ago, they offered us space in a building right there in downtown Standardsville. We renovated the space, and we have 14,000 square feet there, which is a lot. And we have a really thriving program there, and it's been quite a success.
Very nice facility. I visit there frequently.
Yeah, it really is nice.
Another thing that I'd like to touch on is workforce services, because that's another opportunity for the adult learner.
Yeah. It's another arm of the college where I described earlier, where we have our transfer programs for bachelor's degrees and our career and technical education programs like in healthcare. Another thing we do is for people who mostly already have jobs, but they need to upgrade their skills or pick up a new skill, maybe to get a promotion on the job or to get a little salary increase. We offer a lot of short courses.
Okay.
Might just be a couple hours, or it might be a day-long course, and it's in specific skill areas. And you don't have to commit for a whole year or semester or anything. And the course might be $49 or $99, just depending on what the course is. And we enroll probably 3,000 to 4,000 students a year in those kinds of short courses. And some of them have become really well known in our community. For instance, we prepare an awful lot of people to work in growing grapes and making wine. Viticulture and enology. We're one of the few colleges in the country that offers that program. But as everybody knows, we've got all those wineries around here.
Yes,
they
sir.
employ a lot of people, but you got to have a specific skill. You got to know how to, either grow the grapes or handle the pesticides or mix the wine and bottle it and so forth. So we started a program about 10 years ago, and I think we've had close to 500 graduates in that program, and most of them get good paying jobs in our region if they want it. So it's another example of what workforce services does, and that's housed in the building at the lower part of our campus, which many people remember as the old Monticello Visitor Center.
Yes.
Monticello Visitor Center was located there for years until they built their new facility over on their side of the mountain. And we were very fortunate that the city and county donated that building to us after Monticello vacated it. And we converted it to this workforce center that really is geared towards helping people advance their skills, make more money, get better jobs with short-term training.
What does the success rate look like for the adult learner?
Oh, that's a tough one for me to answer. I can't really answer because part of it is, what is success? It's really so individual because if you're working at State Farm, let's say, and you want to learn how to do Excel spreadsheets, so you come in, you take a quick course in that, you go back to work, and hopefully you can use Excel spreadsheets and Maybe you get a raise, maybe you get a promotion, maybe it just helps you keep your job.
Okay.
What success? I'm not really sure. It's up to the individual. I think the best thing I could say is we get a lot of repeat customers. You know, they get what they want, they leave, they come back when they need us again.
Okay. How does an individual reach out and get connected with PVCC and get the ball rolling towards a new, better life?
There are loads of ways to do that. I mean, one is obviously come on up to campus.
Okay.
We have what we call our admissions and advising center, and all those folks are there waiting for individuals to come in to help advise them, to talk about careers, to talk about jobs, to talk about courses. We have a career counseling area. Andre Luck runs that, and that's free. You can come in and you can take some tests of your interests so that maybe you get a better idea of what kind of job you're interested in.
Okay.
Then we have academic advisors who will help you pick the right program and the right courses. So that's one way. Also, most people in this area, hopefully if you're anybody listening, you get our schedule of classes every semester in the mail.
I do.
Most people do. That will go over all the steps necessary to get started. Another thing is just go to our website, pvcc.edu, and there's always information on there how to get started. Another service that people might find interesting, we have a person who does our outreach work. Her name is Denise McClanahan, and she does programs for individuals who want to get started. And they're scheduled all over our service region, Charlottesville, Albemarle, Greene, Fluvanna, Louisa, Nelson. Denise has them on a schedule. You can find that on our website. And that's an in-person, very informal way where Denise might sit down with a handful of people, answer their questions, help them get started, and if necessary, hold their hand through the whole process.
Okay, great. Again, Mr. Friedman, thank you for taking the time to sit down with us. I appreciate it. You're listening to In My Humble Opinion with Maxilia Robinson and Charles Lewis. And take heed, family. We're here to create a better you, and education is certainly one part of that. So PVCC is there, ready and available. Make that step. Reach out to them. You'll be glad.